So we're in Tinyana Bays, and Reb Nachman's basically taking us on a journey into ourselves. And he got to a nakuda that's all about how birthing works. How does birth work? That we said everything we're talking about is about having an easy birth. When a person's pregnant, so you say leida kala, it should be smooth, like there's a lot of things that could go on by a birth. It's important that it's smooth, that everything should go well. And we said that at that time, so the Gemara teaches us that Pharaoh told all of his evil henchmen, where they had to go and kill the Jewish babies. They said, well, how would we know that a woman's about to give birth? They said, don't worry, you'll know because her legs get cold. And if her legs get cold, then you know that the time has come. She's about to get ready to give birth. And then Reb Nachman explained, so what's the connection? He said, because when the legs get cold, it means that the blood from the legs is rushing to the womb, and it's creating pressure in the womb, that now the womb should be able to have the energy necessary to push out the child. And even though it seems that temporarily the legs are lacking damim, blood, but that's only a temporary lack, because after the birth happens, so the blood will go b'talucha, which means normal circulation will restore to the rest of the body. The circulatory system will go back to its normal function. And then not only will the legs be filled with dam, but they will have had the schus of helping to bring out Torah in the world. And therefore all of the supporters, the Toimchei Torah, we said, all those people that are supporting Torah, we said it's the same thing. Those people that are giving their damim, damim means both blood, but it means money. Those that are giving their damim, so it looks like temporarily they're lacking, because the blood is leaving the legs, but really they're allowing a birth to happen, they're allowing a hoylada to happen, and therefore not only are they going to get back the damim, not only are they going to get back the money that they gave, because for the Toimchei Eiraisa, not only are they going to get back that money, they're going to be that which is responsible for bringing Torah into the world. They're going to be those ones that help to bring Torah into the world. They're the Toimchei Eiraisa. They're the ones that are birthing new halacha, because the Talmidei Chacham have, in this case, whipped cream in their coffee, and the orange juice by the coffee nook over there, boutique coffee nook, Baruch Hashem, Lakute Cafe. I come for the cafe, stay for the Lakute. I don't know about you. Some people come for the Lakute, stay for the cafe, but I come for the cafe, stay for the Lakute. And B'siyat D'Shmaya, that's the Toimchei Eiraisa. And we said from the Zohar Kodesh that the Toimchei Eiraisa are called the legs. They're connected to Netzach and Hoid. They're called the legs, because the Talmid Chacham, who's the body, is standing on the legs. He's being supported by the legs of those people that are supporting Torah. And therefore it's a gewaltige schus. Anybody who's supporting Torah, nifla. It's an unbelievable schus. You're creating birth. You're bringing leida into the world. And all of those halachas, which we'll see in a moment, in the schus of Avram Avinu, B'hi Baram, that all of that chesed, that's in the schus of the Toimchei Eiraisa, that are birthing and bringing new Torah into the world. Like I told you last time, that when I saw Reb Tzimaier shake a lulav and an esrog one year, I said, I got to buy one of those esrogim. I have to somehow be involved. Whatever's being birthed into the world through that experience, I said, I got to get involved in those. And he doesn't get pasha to esrogim, you know what I'm saying? He gets idis shiva idis, aleph, aleph, aleph. So we're holding here, we're about to get to the sun and the moon, because you got to get into the sun and the moon. How could you not, Hafach ba v'hava ba d'kula ba. When you learn Reb Nachman, you realize that Reb Nachman takes you everywhere. So we're in Tinyana Bays. in Ois Gimel. So third line, Ki gama halacha hi bechinas haylada. Halacha is haylada. When new halacha is coming to the world, it's birthing. You're birthing new consciousness into the world. Halacha. I was just going this morning on my way to hang out with the chevra. So there were big signs plastered in my neighborhood. My neighborhood still has giant signs where people get their news from these giant signs. A lot of people don't have getchkelas. So it's like, the people get the news from these giant signs. So there was a giant sign up. I had the Rosh Hashiva's name signed at the bottom and Rav Kuber's name. And the giant sign said, warning, that they had found that a certain batch of Weetabix is muchsa b'toyloyim, has worm problems, and they put the batch number on it, and they said that it's not able to be checked, and this has to be thrown out. And those are signed, Rabbi Berkowitz, Rav Kuber. That basically, they're about to save Jews from eating worms. Do you understand what a chesed that is? That they know all the halachas ad kadei kah, that they could paskin on a batch of Weetabix and make sure that signs go up. Not all Weetabix, but Weetabix are fine. They have a fine hechsher. But this particular batch, there was a problem that they could not be checked. But they ran the production line of it. So that's a chesed. Because they know that halacha, that's a chesed. That they're providing that chesed for the community, that people should know. So that's birthing chesed into the world for those that know Torah. For those that know Torah, they're able to paskin on shilas to help human beings. That's an amazing thing. So we said, Ki gama halacha hi bechinas haylada, ki yesh tamche ayraisa, shenoisten mammon l'loim de Torah. Those that are giving mammon, they're dumbin, to loim de Torah. Shebetchila heim mechaser mamoinim me'atzmam. In the beginning, they don't have that money. They gave it to support Torah learning. But in the end, we said, Ki shenoisen amam l'tamid chacham nechsar eitzlam. They don't have it themselves. They gave it to support Torah learning. Shezeh bechinas yarchaiseh mitztannois. And this is what it means that her legs became cold before the birth, is that the blood of the legs, dam is the same word as money, it came up to the womb, it created pressure on the womb to birth something to the world. That birthing is called halacha, that the tzaddikim are teaching us halacha. Ki damim tarti mashma, it means money, and it means blood. Avalacha kach, don't worry, you're not going to lose. If you support Torah, you're never going to lose. You're only going to win. You're only going to win. Afterwards, the regular circulation of the blood will come back into the legs, and the legs will be stark again. But you'll also have been responsible for birthing new halacha into the world that didn't exist before, because Rabbi Shimar didn't have his Rabbi juice or whatever it is. So Baruch Hashem, if you're able to get that Rabbi juice to the Rebbe, you're helping to bring halacha and chidushim into the world. That's called a leida. That's called leida. And we want that to be leida kala, that it should be easy. Therefore, that's when there's a flow of shefa to the tzaddikim. That means that everything is just flowing, that there's birth that's happening in the world. There's lots of shefa and birth happening to the world. And Moshe Rabbeinu is the tzaddik emes. Moshe Rabbeinu understands that when he made a raise for Klal Yisrael in Parashas Truma, v'yikchu lachem truma. So it said that they gave tons. The daya, they just kept giving. The Jewish people understood. We just have to support. If Moshe Rabbeinu is raising to build a Mishkan, you want to be involved in that. Not because you're going to have a plaque that's going to say your name, proudly donated by somebody, the Beis HaMikdash. The Aron Kodesh has got writing all over it, proudly donated. Even though it's a nice thing, by the way. This is a big pickup. Wow, Adia, wow. I love you, brother. So even though it's a very big thing to have your name, by the way, because it makes other people want to give. If that person gives, then I'll give. And it just supports a culture of chesed. It's a very chashuv thing. But the Yidden, we just want to give because we want to see a Mishkan. We want to see the Beis HaMikdash. If the name will help other people give, fine, okay, I'll put my name. If that will inspire other people to give, so I'll put my name on it as well. It's a chashuv thing. Or if you give something to, let's say, to a tzaddik. So a few years ago when the Rosh Yeshiva became the Rosh Yeshiva, so I said we have to get the Rosh Yeshiva siddur. So I went around, it's not so expensive, but you see a siddur is a nice siddur, right? So I went around to the chevra, and everyone gave like a few shekels. And then we got the Rosh Yeshiva his siddur. And at the bottom it said, L'chaved, Moreinu, Rabbeinu, Rosh Yeshiva, Shlita. And then at the bottom it said, Me'es HaTalmidim. This is from the Talmidim of Eshet Torah. So sometimes when you give something to a tzaddik, if the name is there, it means that the tzaddik's always davening for you. He's thinking about you. That's also a nice thing. Like if you put something on the tzaddik's siddur, you put your name, you donate it, and then you put your name there. So every time the tzaddik opens his tehillim, or every time he's davening by the Amud, Meis Mishpachas Stern, it's like, oh, it means that there's a constant consciousness that you're in the mind of the tzaddik. So that's also a reason to put a name. But the Yidden, we want to give just because we want to see the Leida, we want to see bracha coming into the world. So that's what it means, Toim Chei Raisa. And now look what the Rebbe says. Where's Yaakov? He's going to make a move here. Yaakov loves and Rav Nachman makes moves. Okay? And this is what it means, the pleasures of the world to come. The pleasures of the world to come, meaning everything we talked about before, that the world to come is all about Todah, acknowledging that God is real, constant connection and relationship to Hashem, and constant birthing. And now Yaakov, here's the move. And this is what it means, V'haya or halavana ka'or hachama. This is what it means that it says, Lasid Lavai, in the end of days, that the moon will become like the sun. Oh. That the moon will become like the sun. So if you ask a kid, what's more powerful right now? The sun or the moon? What do you think they would say? The sun. The sun is very powerful.
The sun is more powerful than the moon now.
So the sun is more powerful.
Yeah.
So the sun is mamish got
Without the sun, you won't have a moon.
That's right, exactly. Mamish. It's strengthening the teretz, that the sun Pashut is more has more koyach. The moon has nothing. Now the Gemara says that it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way. If you open the Chumash, that it says that Hashem made Shnei Hama'oris HaGedolim, the two great luminaries, Samor HaGodol and Samor HaKodol. The big one and the small one. Wait a second. He just said Hashem made two big lights. The big one and the small. What happened to the two big ones? He just said there's two big ones, and then there's a big one and a small one. I thought they were both big. So the Gemara fills in the story, and the Gemara says that there was a machloikis, that the moon had a taina. Okay, this is not literal. These are symbolic ideas. That the moon said to Hashem, that the moon told Hashem, she said to Hashem, how can two kings share one crown? It's a fair taina. How could two kings? It was like chutzpah. It's not a bad taina. These are like discussion points. We could talk these things out. State. No. How could two kings share one crown? So then Hashem told the moon. I heard a pshat in this. Who said that you're a king? And you came as like a hanocha. How could two kings share one crown? And Hashem said, who said that you're a king? That you come with such a umdana? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not a king. And because of that, Hashem shrunk the moon. And now the moon, the light of the moon is lacking. The light of the moon is lacking. And the light of the moon only comes from the light of the sun. So that's the situation we have now. And that all the light of the moon is only that which it receives from the sun. So it's lacking. It's lacking something. The moonlight is less. Even though in a certain way it's more je ne sais quoi. That's my go-to. And it's like, because the French know how to say certain things. The French is very romantic, you know what I'm saying? Moonlight's very romantic. That's the whole point. By the way, if you're going on a date with a girl, so you're thinking like, I got a little bit of time, like being a star, and like 1 p.m., the middle of the day, full bright sun. So don't be surprised if the shadchan's like, maybe at night is nicer. No, like I got time right now. Like it's like a great time to go out, like the middle of the day, heat of the day. So moonlight is you do it. There's a certain romance of the moon. It's beautiful. It's a different type of light. It's less, but there's something. It gained something. It's less, but it's more. It's something. It's different. The moon is different. So the moon is lacking something. It's lacking. That's like the ones that are giving to Torah. They're lacking right now. Something happened. They gave something up. Something is not there. But it says in the end of days that the moon is going to become like the sun once again. The moon is going to become full. And it says the Jewish people are like the moon. That right now maybe it looks like we're lacking. And it says the Jewish people are compared to the moon because we also wax and wane. It looks like things aren't going so well. And the moon is waning and waning. And then right at that last second, the second the moon is a new moon, at that second, it's already starting to wax again. Which is the koyach of David HaMelech. That's the koyach of David HaMelech. There's always hope for a Yid. The second that everything is black, it's starting again. And what that means is really there's going to come a time where the moon is not only going to wax, it's going to wax to such a degree it's going to become a sun again. So that's what it means that there's a time where things become lacking. Ki halavana tiva kar. And it's also fascinating, the moon is cold. It's like the legs of the woman before birth. That's the moon. But in the end, the moon will become warm again. And I was thinking today, I was just on my way to yeshiva, I was thinking, maybe that's what it means that like Elon and all the chevra are trying to get people on the moon. They're trying to warm up the moon again. They're trying to bring life. You have what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. Like, when was the last time they were warming up a moon? Only now. This is like the end of days. They want to mamish make a whole ganze, like shields up there and chevra up there, chabad will set up as well. Like they're making, Pashat, saying, Eshet Tova gets something going. They're warming up the moon again. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this cold, distant, uninhabited place. It's just saying that the moon is coming alive again. The moon is coming back to life. Right? They're finding this stuff happening. We can go to the moon. The moon is filled with ore again. It's filled with neshama again. It's not cold. It's like the blood rushing back to the legs. It's not cold anymore. It's warm again. Life is returning to the moon. And that's what it means, that it's only going to get more and more and more until it's like the sun. Which means, it sounds like, just lafi the inyan, that we're talking about a whole ecosystems and chevra and like Verbrengens up there. It's going to be like a very active place. That's the discussions, right? Let's just get it going. Let's get it going. Well, why not? And the human mind, this is all like kliyakar, inyanim in the neshama. Like why can't we expand there? We can't. Let's think about that. Think about the Marab Masech of seeing the terra firma and the earth and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So the moon is coming alive once again. And in the end, that the moon is going to become like the sun. This is what it means, that which is lacking is becoming full again. It's birthing. It's the process of birthing. Bechinas halachas. Shehem bechinas shashua olam haba, which is olam haba. V'zeh bechinas eila toldos hashamayim ve'aretz behi bara. And this is what the pasuk says, that these are the toldot. the offspring of Shemayim va'aretz in their creation. So Chazal say that Behi Baram has a little hay there, which is like hinting you to something. It's like telling you, by the way, anytime that you see an interesting letter in the Torah or in the Megillah scroll, it's telling you, look at me. Something, like there's something more happening here that you should pay attention to. So Chazal say, Behi Baram, that this is the offspring of heaven and earth, Behi Baram Be'avraham. Letters Be'avraham. That what was the schus? Why was heaven and earth made? In the merit of Avraham. So Avram is chesed. In the merit of chesed, which is halacha, which is the weed b'kshaila, which is chesed flowing into the world, in that merit there's a Shemayim va'aretz, which is itself a leida. That itself is a leida. The whole birth of the world is a big leida. Now, you might say to me, but I thought the whole inyan of a leida is something has to be lacking in order to... So this is a very deep inyan. How did Hashem make the world? So whatever this means, but it says that Hashem made a chalal hapanui. Hashem made space. It means He's not lacking Hashem, but from our perspective, it says that Hashem made some space. So it looks like in order for the Leida to happen, there was a cosmic chisaron. But it's not, we say the chalal hapanui is gans filled with Or Hashem. But at least at some darga, whatever this means, that there was some space. Hashem made space. He made a place for us. And that's only going to bring more kavod Hashem, because now there's a creation that can now, we are the Leida, and give nachas to Hashem, and we're going to fill that space with Or Hashem. And then all the talucha, all of the dam will come back into that space and be filled once again. So Eila told us, Shemayim va'aretz behi baram be'avraham, hainu chesed. Ki ha'ilada al de bechinas halachas. Halachas, we said, is bechinas chesed. V'zeh bechinas oh. And then he says, all of this, by the way, everything I'm saying is just found in a pasuk in King David, all this stuff, it's all marumas everywhere. So he says, Mizmor l'soida, hariyu l'Hashem kol ha'aretz. A mizmor, a song of thanksgiving, I think that would be Art Scrollian. A song of thanksgiving. Hariyu l'Hashem kol ha'aretz. They will all the land will call out to the Lord. Lovely, beautiful. By the way, this is what you would say when you would bring a korban tokda. Kol Chaim yoducha sela. Yoducha, we said, are the four types of people that are chayiv. What was kol Chaim? Chaim, we said, chavish, somebody who was taken captive. Lo aleinu. We said yisurim. Yisurim means somebody went through a terrible pain. Yam, he's sick. Yam, somebody crosses over a yam, that's the yud. And then midbar, somebody crosses the midbar. So kol Chaim yoducha sela, all those people bring a toida in Beis HaMikdash. And we said korban toida is the only korban that's still going to be active, lasid lavai, which is also an amazing thing. Just to think about that. What kind of korbanos is it going to be? Just toida. Just toida. And maybe according to Rav Kook, even that's going to start to... Even the korban toida won't need to be through a korban. It's a very big thing that Rav Kook says that we're going to go into a vegetarian life. Yeah, you have to think about that. You have to think about these things. And by the way, that answers a steer in the Rambam. The Rambam says there's going to be no more korbanos. And then the yad is just filled with korbanos. Right, the yad is all the halachas, whether we have a Beis HaMikdash or not. Shulchan Aruch is without a Beis HaMikdash. Which, by the way, there's a big steer in that, because there's two parts of Shulchan Aruch that seem to be a bit interesting. He mentions in two areas a certain halacha that if the Shulchan Aruch is only written for the times without a Beis HaMikdash, then why does he mention saras? In two areas he talks about saras. I thought saras is only something with Beis HaMikdash. It's like a miraculous. So he mentions saras when it comes to tefillin and bris milah. Okay, that should be thought about. Maybe there is such an inyan still at saras that has to be dealt with. But the Rambam is halachas for Beis HaMikdash and not Beis HaMikdash. So the Rambam talking about korbanos. But then the Rambam says there's going to be no more korbanos. So Rav Kook answers that it's going to be a progression of consciousness of moving away from korbanos. Moving away, that's not going to be the avodah. Like Berkowitz said, if in the name of many tzaddikim, that if animals are not going to be eating each other, then why would we be eating animals? Now we're not there yet, but at least to think about that in consciousness, that there's a journey of things, that we're on this journey. That we're on this journey. So in this pasuk of bringing a toida, so the pasuk says, Mizmor l'soida hariyu l'Hashem kol haaretz. L'soida. So l'soida is hinting to the fact of a toda. But l'soida, the Arizal says the same letters, oisius toilada, birth. Birth. Tolada is birth. Hariyu l'Hashem kol haaretz is Rosh Tevis halacha. So you see in the same pasuk is toida, everything that Reb Nachman's been talking about, giving thanks, which is Olam Haba, and halacha, and birth. The whole inyan is in the pasuk that we say when we bring a toida. Ki halachas bechinas toida, hein bechinas toila de kenir la'el. Oh, when Reb Nachman says kenir la'el, he's just showing you, I'm tying everything, I'm weaving everything together. V'zeh sha'am Rabbi Sein zechoin livracha. This is what Chazal said, that Asa was a king, and there was a siege and a war. And during that war, it said that his legs became sick. He had a problem with his legs. Why were his legs affected? So Chazal say, Al sha'osa angari b'tamidei chachamim. Angari means he started to put the tzaddikim to do different types of work. Different types of dismantling and whatever. Work that was happening when they were dismantling a big tower. And it appears that they should have been learning. He was preventing halacha from coming to the world. He's preventing halacha from coming to the world. Which really means that he was cutting off the legs. I.e., he was not allowing the damim to flow to the womb to create a haylada of more halach in the world. So he himself was affected by his legs. One of the things that Rav Nachman does for us, and the Sefer Charedim does this, they pull you into, when things are happening in your body, it's teaching you about stuff. There were certain tzaddikim that if they had a pain somewhere, they would go to a doctor, and the doctor would say, I've identified that it's a little part on one of the sections of your adrenal gland. And then they would just say, okay, shkoyach, thank you. And they would walk out. And the guy's like trying to write a prescription, like, I could give you something to take. He's like, no, I'm good to go. I couldn't diagnose where it was, but now that you showed me where it was, I'm just going to fix the mitzvah. Shkoyach, like I'm good. Like I just couldn't, I didn't have the diagnostics to see it properly. I'm not saying that is what you should do. I'm just saying that there's such a thing. Of identifying when something happens to our body, we should all be very, very healthy, B'ezrat Hashem. But when something happens, you have to think, what's going on? It's teaching me something. It's all mechuvin. Hashem is doing things for a reason. Something's happening in your legs. It's interesting. I had some feet issues. And Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, a blessed memory, you could write him letters, you know that? Rabbi Rasman has a whole stack of letters from Rabbi Chaim. He used to love writing Rabbi Chaim. Now, Rabbi Chaim would write you very short answers. So I had a problem with my feet, so I wrote Rabbi Chaim a letter. Why not? Write the Gadol Ador. I couldn't get over certain things with my feet. So I said, Dear Gadol Ador, I'm your biggest fan. I've had these feet problems for this many years, and what should I do? So I actually got a long letter back. It was 3 words. That's long. Rabbi Chaim sometimes would write 1 word, 2 word, whatever, 3 words. And the letter came back, and I opened it up, and it said, Tilmoid Hilchos Regalim. Learn the halachas of the regel. The regel means of Hilchos Yom Tov. There's something wrong with your feet, your regel. Maybe something's off with your connection to the regalim. Right, Shalosh Regalim. Something's up with that. You're not. And Baruch Hashem, my feet are good. But I'm saying, you just have to, regel. I just didn't think about that, you know what I'm saying? I came from a world that didn't make those connections necessarily. But the Torah is telling you to think that way. To think that way. It's all mechuvin. It's all mechuvin. It's all mechuvin. Anatomy of the Soul is a very chashuv sefer of Chaim Kramer, who put together basically a lot of the Torahs in Reb Nachman about the body. But understanding what is going on in your body and how to see your body in a very mature way as connected to your neshama, as connected to the Ramach, mitzvahs aseh, and the shasa lois aseh, and to be more connected to your body. Very important thing. And I think we're seeing, why is this such a health thing that the world is getting, Andrew Huberman is super popular, and all these health guys. And because I think people are tuning into the fact that it's gotta be that there's a shleimus in our soul with our body. It has to be. There's a feeling that it's gotta be the whole picture. It's gotta be the whole picture together. That's for Mendel. We love Mendel. It's got to be the whole picture. We got to put the whole picture together. It has to be. It can't be a stira. There's no stiras. It has to be the whole picture. So Asa, who was making a problem with the legs, i.e. he wasn't allowing flow to get to the Talmidei Chachamim, so his legs were affected. His legs were affected. Ki ali deisha asa an gari b'Talmidei Chacham bitel oisem min halachas. He was preventing them from producing more halacha in the world. Al dezeh chala is raglov ki halachas hen b'chinas tikun v'kiyim haraglan, because the fact that halacha is coming into the world is helping those that are supporting Torah. Right? We say im ein kemach ein Torah. If there's no flour, there's no Torah. You can't learn if you don't have food to eat. So those that are supporting Torah, i.e. the kemach, that are financially supporting, right? We even call, money is bread, right? Bread. You got bread? You got bread? You don't eat your Bitcoin. You use it to buy some bread, sourdough pasha, but you use it to buy bread because money is bread. So if there's no bread, there's no Torah. But in ein Torah, ein kemach. If there's no Torah, there's no energy of halacha flowing into the world, then there's no energy that's powering the legs. There's no energy that's powering those people that are able to support Torah. So it's really a symbiotic relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. Im ein kemach ein Torah, im ein Torah im kemach, and each one feels they have the better end of the deal. I get to support Torah. It's unbelievable. The other one says, thank you for supporting Torah. I get to learn. And the other one says, I get to support, I get to learn. Each one's like, no, I got the bet. No, you hang up first. I got the bet. No, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Each one mamish got the better end of the deal. Ki halachas heim b'chinas taluchos adamim. And once halacha is coming to the world, it makes talucha, same word as halacha, which means that the blood is flowing once again, that circulation resumes in its proper form. Shechayzrim v'hoylchen kaseder. Kanir le'el. Va'asa shapogam bezeh. And also, who made a problem with that, v'bitel es hatamidei chachamim min ha'halachos, al kein chala es raglov. So that's why his legs were affected. Okay. Gewaldig. Let's begin Ois Dalid, and Ois Dalid is going to be a new world we're going to enter into, and we'll have to really get into Ois Dalid tomorrow.
Making a move?
Yeah, and whenever there's a new Ois, you know it's a move. That's for sure. Even in an Ois, but Nathan makes moves, pivots, moves. But when it's a new Ois, it's mamish. You know things are happening. So says the Rebbe, when you're zoichen halacha, okay, this is really the next move of the entire Torah. You're thinking, where's Hanukkah? Oh, we're getting there. So the whole Torah is about Hanukkah. Oh yeah, it's coming, my friends. When you're zoichen to toida and halacha, i.e., that you could say thank you, that you acknowledge, and that's the shashua olam haba. And that's halacha, which is bringing chesed into the world. And that's the leida. That's mizmor l'soida. Ki al yedei zeh nizgala ora emes. Through toida and halacha, you reveal truth. Halacha is truth. Halacha is truth. Remember, we said that halacha is also taking a lot of opinions, energy, and distilling it into Ratzon Hashem, being able to make multiplicity into one. We're going to talk about this in Rav Nosson. Taking multiplicity, the days of the week, the Pu'ulus Mishtanis, many, many, many things that we see, and being able to trace it back to the one. And halacha is going from this way to this way. Yes?
It's almost like the menorah, like how we have it all coming back to...
All comes back to the center. Tzaddikim say that that's when Moshe Rabbeinu said, let me see you. And Hashem said, Lo Yeronia Adam V'chai. No, nobody could see me in this world. See me means it was an analogy for I want to know everything about you, all the secrets of life. So he said, nobody could see me. So, but what did Hashem show Moshe Rabbeinu? His back of his tefillin, Hashem's tefillin. So Hashem doesn't put on straps and boxes, but Hashem has an inyan of tefillin. What's the back of the tefillin? The back of the tefillin is, when I have my straps, my tefillin straps, so I have a right strap and I have a left strap. So the right strap is chesed. It's when goodness is coming to the world, blessing is coming to the world. The left strap is when there's judgment. Judgment is things that are challenging in my life. Sometimes I like to say that chesed is when you say yes, or somebody says yes to you. Yes. Can you help me? Yes. That's an act of chesed. Judgment is when somebody says no. We don't like to hear the word no. It's a stop sign. Just stop everything. It's like the guy, they're by date, 8, and like things are like, heating up. The moon is warming up, and then the girl says no. I don't want to continue. So yes is when it's, okay, let's continue. No is hard. So the right tefillin strap is yes, is chesed. The left tefillin strap is no, is din, is gevura. And we basically want chesed. We want to see goodness in this world. But is Hashem also sending the no's? Of course Hashem is sending the no's. We don't like that. It's not pleasant. Somebody just called me, the Lelev Rebbe sent somebody to call me. And there was somebody who's been through a lot of no's in their life. Like a lot. And this was a person that was going through a lot of challenge. Like a lot. I mean like a lot of no's. And I was very saddened by the conversation. An older person that had a lot of no's in their life. And wants to find some hope. But you know what the secret is? If you take the right tefillin strap, you take the left tefillin strap, and you trace it back to where it comes from a unified point. the back of the tefillin means that both what you see on the front of the person is chesed and gevura, but if you trace it back, the back means what's hidden, what's secret, it all comes from the one. So that's what Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu, his kesher shel tefillin, that Moshe Rabbeinu could understand that everything that you see, vein l'toy, vein l'muta, is all coming from me. That's a very big secret. To that, I'll show you Moshe Rabbeinu. But after that, you should know there's secrets beyond that lo yirani adam l'chai. That is something that only once you come upstairs will we be able to talk about these things. Yes.
It's also no coincidence that the right strap's always longer than the left.
That's right. The right is always longer, which means is that Hashem is always tipping to the side of Toiv and Chesed. Olam Chesed Yiboneh, which means it's always tipped. Hashem is trying to get you in that direction. That's why there is no coincidence. It's a ka-incidence. A Yud-K incidence. I heard that from Brazil. Shlita. A ka-incident. Very, very cute. Very nice. When we can tap into these things, we're tapping into the true emes of life. Now, where do we want to take this emes? We want to take this emes into our dibur. We're going to start a whole section here on speech. I'm going to start talking about speech and the power of speech and how to use speech properly. And speech is a very powerful tool. Speech is mamish. It says Mashiach is going to win all of his wars with speech. No weapons. He's going to be a master diplomat. He's going to be able to speak to people. And it's fascinating. Ilan and I are talking about this all the time. That like the world has moved to the world of the podcast, which is just speech. It's just using the power of speech to talk things out. Is that emes is coming out. The world of speech is coming back. Like my father said so beautifully, the world used to be a world of the word and the idea. You gave somebody an idea and a good word and they would think about it. Then the world transitioned from the word and the idea to the image and the emotion. An emotion that just grabs you and then, okay, I'll do it. But the world is moving back, I feel, to the word and the idea, especially with long format. Long format. Let's speak for like Lex does, for like the next 8 hours. Okay? You know, stuff kind of comes out after you're sitting there for 8 hours straight about stuff. It's like hard to, you know, if like stuff's like, all your one-liners run out. So if you're a politician and you don't have really anything be'emes to say, like, it kind of comes out after 8 hours on camera. Just, you know, let's just roll the camera. Let's just keep this thing going. Let's just see actually really what's going on inside of you. So the word, people are starting to look for the word once again. Let's see what kind of human being is sitting here. Like how long can you fake it? It says that the word is really a gilui of das. Your words are a gilui of das, which means if you really want to know what's going on inside the person, if you just get the guy to talk long enough, eventually you'll see what's hiding in here. He won't be able to hide it for so long. It starts coming out. Things start coming out. The words are very powerful. So we're going to speak about words and the power of words, and specifically the power of true words, of emes, and infusing our words with emes, being people of emes, of Torah's emes. And we're going to have to speak about Lashon Kodesh, about the power of Lashon Kodesh. It's going to come into this. That the world is created through Lashon Kodesh. We're going to get into this. This is all going to be halacha and talucha and leida and toida and shashua olam haba and pashat Chanukah. And Mitzvah Hashem, we're building up this like major sugya here in Reb Nachman in Tinyana Beis. And we should be zeicha mamish. We should be zeicha to the or of emes. We should be zeicha to the haylada, to be birthing halacha into the world. We should be zeicha to be toimchei araisa, to support the tzaddikim in bringing all that shefa and that light into the world. We should be zoich mamish that the or halavana will once again be ka'or achama, that the light of the moon will once again shine bright again. And we'll see that Klal Yisrael will return, the chen and the chashivas and the beauty of Klal Yisrael will once again spread around the world, and the world will see the beauty of Torah, the words of Torah, and the words of Tefillah. And we'll see that the third part of the beauty of our words is the words of Shidduchim, is the words of helping to bond. Everyone was like, what did he say? Shidduchim? It's the greatest way to wake a guy up, like, Shidduchim? I'm up. Baruch Hashem, you're healthy. The words of Shidduchim, the words of Torah, the words of Tefillah, the words of Emes. Because Shidduchim is all about creating bond, of unifying souls together. And the ultimate Shidduch of Kudsha Brichu, V'Yisrael, V'Ayrais Achad, that ultimate Shidduch, that we see the reunification, not only B'Koyel, but Poyel Mamish, the absolute unity of Klal Yisrael, of Ayrais and Kudsha Brichu, that ultimate unity, returning once again the ultimate Shidduch, the Shidduch Mamish of Rivka and Yitzchak, the amazing Shidduch of rebonding, of coming back, of the Tekiya Gedola, the reunification of the year, the Bayoy Mahu, that it says, that we know that the Ari HaKadosh says that Yudkei Vavkei is Haya Hoiviyeh. So the Ari says that that's also talking about 3 times. That Haya means Hashem before the Bria, Hoive is Hashem now with the Bria, and Yeh is when the Bria reunifies within the oneness of God. And that's why the Ari says that in the end of days, Hashem's name won't be Yudkei Vavkei, it'll be Yudkei Yudkei. Yudkei means that the Bria unified with God. And that's what it means. Bayoy Mahu Yeh Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. Yeh. In the end of days, it'll be Yeh. Yeh means that we'll reunify into the oneness of God and be aware of that unity for all eternity, the ultimate unity. Through the avodah that we did in Hoive now, in this world, we should be Zoich HaMamish to Mashiach Tzidkeinu b'mhera v'yameinu. Amen.
Amen.
Yen Shalom Yeveyu, Shen Shum Yeveyu, Yen Shum Yeveyu, Shmara V'Lamva, Rabbeinu Shoah V'Kol Gadol, Yen Shum Yeveyu, Yen Shum Yeveyu, Yen Shum Yeveyu, Baba V'Lamva, Yen Mitzvah Gedai L'Aliyah, B'Simcha L'Aliyah, B'Simcha L'Aliyah, Mitzvah Gedai L'Aliyah, B'Simcha L'Aliyah, B'Simcha B'Simcha Tami, Yandri 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 La 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 Ya La 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 Da 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 Yandri 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 La 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 Ya La 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 Da 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 Mitzvah Gedai L'Aliyah, B'Simcha L'Aliyah, B'Simcha B'Simcha Tami, Mitzvah Gedai L'Aliyah, B'Simcha L'Aliyah, B'Simcha B'Simcha Tami. Shabbos.